This woman is dressed in a sexy nightgown and poses seductively for the moment of madness. The next moment, her husband, who is over 100 years old, wants to do something new, so without saying a word, he handcuffs his wife to the bed. Then the man swallows a mysterious pill. But just as the man is exerting his masculinity, but he was too excited and had a heart attack, he collapsed on top of the woman. The woman was terrified. Then the woman tried her best to support her husband with her feet, but he fell heavily under the bed. Her hands were handcuffed to the bed. She couldn't get them off even if she tried. She had no choice but to call for help, but there was no one around. She called for her husband again, but her husband in the pool of blood remained motionless. The sky was getting darker and darker. The woman had cried herself to exhaustion. Then there was a noise outside the window. A dark figure was approaching the door. The overjoyed woman rushed to call for help, but she realized it was a wild dog. Searching for the smell of blood, the dog was approaching her husband's body. The woman tried to scare the dog away by making noise, but the dog didn't listen. It even licked up the blood on the ground. The dingo picked up her husband's arm and started to tear it off. The woman rushed to the books on the wooden shelf and threw them at the dog in a fit of rage. Looking at the flesh in the dog's mouth, the woman broke down and cried. But in the next moment, her husband miraculously stood up. The woman was so excited that she begged her husband to take off the handcuffs, but the husband didn't care. He just kept talking to himself. Then the woman realized to her horror that her husband was still lying on the floor, looking at the two husbands in front of her. The woman's face was confused. The woman calmed her mind after her husband reminded her of this. Then she locked her eyes on the handcuffs on her right hand. She tried with all her might to free herself from the handcuffs. She endured the intense pain caused by the friction of the iron plates. She finally pulled one hand out of the cuffs. With one hand free, the rest was easy. He broke the bedpost and was free. But when he leisurely walked to the door, he found himself still handcuffed to the bed. It turns out that in the extreme emotional collapse coupled with physical exhaustion caused the woman to hallucinate.